Are you ready?
Left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts
right here, right now.
This is a message to all the haters out there. If you don't like what I do, but you watch everything I'm doing, you're still a fan.
Where we're sparking on you. Give a shout out to my partners in the darkest corners. I remember drinking Hennessy, smoking weed, fantasize about the things we grow to be. Had a partner named Snoop, love the clown to stay. Smoke a pound a day, commit to down the drain. Shooting craps in the alley till they chase the salt. Pour a little, but my homie just don't waste it all. Having house parties in the crowded spot, and you can tell it's hot. They talk loud a lot, cause another dude kicked his Bacardi over. He had to have the food, now the party's over.
What's going on, everybody? This is your main man, Ox Smooth Baron, and you're tuned in to Hog HQ. Woo! Pigs, wee! Go Hogs!
Stop! It's the motherfucking remix!
Oh yeah, we're back with another episode of Hog HQ Live, brought to you by the Hog Talk Podcast. And as always, let me introduce the guys. This gentleman right here, this is Adam, and this gentleman right here, this is Hart. So I know you've seen the beginning, and we'll get to it in a second, but you know what we do on every show. Yeah, Transplant Texan, salute. Thank you for tapping in. DP, Mr. Petty, and Hart. As always, tell a friend, and we're back again with another episode. This time we are diving in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you're watching us on any particular platform. We are also trying to get up the subscriptions on YouTube. Once again, it is free $99, if you will. And we're trying to make sure that we get the number that we want to reach before we get to football season. But as we start today's show, you know how we do. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, summer sessions, right? So this is season 2 of summer sessions, episode 1. Summer sessions we did last year. This is usually the talking season. We used to see the media talk about everything that's going on or whatever is left in regards to sports talk with the Razorbacks. It's real slow during the season, but we try to find some great topics that you guys are interested in and some things that we want to talk on in regards to pressers, interviews, etc. in upcoming seasons, just to get the mojo going before we get into football season. So, as we start today, the latest, first of all, the 8/24/25. Adam, do you want to speak on that real quick?
I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah,
what do you want to call it? A rebrand, a remix, a relaunch? I don't know.
Yeah,
a whole new. Not the vibe's not going to change.
Right, we still gonna be who we gonna be.
Mm-hmm. You know, new overlays, new layout, new logos, a whole bunch of new.
Right. So with that being said, we talked about this a little bit last year when you switched from the original to the one that we had last season. You end up seeing a lot of other platforms. Hart, I don't know if you remember seeing a lot of other platforms use different things. Now, I'm not saying that we created a certain layout or a certain look on the screen for a podcast, but it seems like when we did it last year, I seen a couple of platforms start to upgrade their layouts and look very similar. So
we went with ours. I mean, we kind of took some older ESPN talk show, argument show, debate shows, layouts there with the topics. What was it? Around the Horn, First Take.
Yeah.
Pardon the interruption.
Yeah.
And then pardon the interruption, and then we kind of started seeing others follow suit. So obviously it wasn't ours, but it's just like, hey, let's dust something off and make it a little bit of a change. And then we saw a few others make the same change.
Transplant Texas, we like a good rebrand unless it involves a forward-facing hog or the Jeff Long fight. Hey, and that's a real thing. That's a real thing. That's.
I will say, look at our current hog, and it will be a change. Can I put it on screen? Yeah, that right there. This is the original. This is the old, and there will be a new one.
And it's sweet. I'm not gonna lie. Like the new layout, like we've been getting rough drafts of it. Hard, you can kind of tap on a little bit, but it looks sweet. Like I said, Adam takes his time, come up with these graphics, these details, send it to me and Hart, and we kind of give our 2 cents to it.
I tweak it like 100 times.
There you go. Hart, how you feel about some of the rebrand that we're gonna be looking forward to?
Man, I'm really excited for it. I think it's just a new opportunity. Maybe have new roads and stuff, and bring something new, just freshen things up, and just bring a new season of sports coming.
There you go. So let's go ahead and tap into the show this evening. Thank you to everyone who is viewing, who is hitting the like button. We definitely appreciate your support. But we're gonna go ahead and get into it and talk about some baseball real quick. As you know, the MLB draft is tonight. We have had 3 guys now selected. 3 guys selected in the MLB draft. That's an awesome thing. During the season that we got a chance to watch with high hopes in order to get to Omaha, not only get to Omaha, but win it all. We did not succeed in that, but we did have some great players on the team, and those guys were rewarded for their hard work and drafted in the first round of the MLB draft. You got any videos?
Yeah, so unfortunately I couldn't get Zach Root included in this because it happened right before we went on, but now there's a 4th. So, before we went on, we just had the guys here. Gage Wood at 26 to the Phillies, Aloy at 31st to the Orioles. And then right before we came on, Zach Root went 40th to the Dodgers. Somebody wants to throw in the comments, or I could look it up to see who went next. Davalon.
Yeah.
Oh, so they went like back to back?
Yeah. Which is
That's
interesting
crazy.
to say that, because when you looked at the best available players, 2nd and 3rd was Aloy and Wood. So that was pretty dope.
Interesting. So more power to him.
History, 2 Hogs selected to MLB first round.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I've got a video here. It's just the first 2 picks, some of the breakdown on them. So I'll throw that up. Get that off there, and here we go.
With the 26th pick of the 2025 MLB Draft, the Philadelphia Phillies select Gage Wood, a right-handed pitcher from the University of Arkansas. The Cleveland Guardians have the next pick.
Well, there's a name you thought you'd hear, and of course, Gage Wood just exploded onto the scene this season, especially late for Arkansas because he was hurt a little bit, and then he goes and throws a no-hitter at the College World Series.
Yeah, there are celebrations in draft rooms, and then there's what's happening right now in Philadelphia.
Sure.
Because to get Gage Wood there, it was the best swing and miss fastball in the entire country this year. That's any arm that was taken, any arm that's going to be taken. Well, this was one of the reasons why. He struck out 19 and threw a no-hitter at Omaha. That usually makes you a little bit of money. Yep. And ultimately for Gage Wood, the consistency on the fastball, his last pitch of the game in a complete game no-hitter was 98 at the top of the zone. Listen, the other stuff plays fine, but ultimately the swing and miss on that fastball, this is a curveball that he's not flipping it in there either. I mean, he's throwing that thing as hard as he can. He does have a split that he just didn't need to use as much this year because the fastball was so good. We talked about Liam Doyle. If you want to rush him to a bullpen, you can rush him to a bullpen. Well, the Phillies are a team that they're in contention now. If this guy can go to the bullpen right away, I do think he's a starter long term. But ultimately, he can go. If you're facing 3, 4, 5 guys in an inning, he can throw 80% fastballs and adjust if he needs be. But the fastball is different than anyone else in this draft, and they just got him at 26.
With the 31st pick of the 2025 MLB Draft, the Baltimore Orioles select Vahiva Aloy, a shortstop from the University of Arkansas. The Milwaukee Brewers have the next pick.
Well, you go to Arkansas, and they rave about the work ethic of Vahiva Aloy, another Hawaii kid. Of course, his brother is still going to be on that Arkansas team, hitting balls over the wall. But the development of his defense to go with that offense, the progression was outstanding and will play at the next level.
So dope. You know what's interesting about watching those guys get selected? The MLB draft is boring. It's boring as hell to me. Even though I was watching, I was looking like, oh, that's the Roxy. So they're in Atlanta because, you know, we got All-Star Weekend.
You don't have the players there. You don't have, I mean, there's just, you have the fans there, but outside of that, there's just kind of not much excitement.
Yeah, and they engraved the bat and then put it on the little, and I'm looking like, I can't even see the damn name. I don't even know who got drafted. So unless you watch it in verbatim per person, it's kind of hard to keep contact with, which is similar to the sport. I mean, you know, unless you're just really a baseball fan, it's kind of hard to watch. I did want to get this comment. Tucker watching us on X. Hopefully the high school class doesn't get rated. Absolutely. That happens every single year, it seems like. But that just kudos to Dave Van Horn and his staff for doing a great job in regards to recruiting.
Well, the number one pick was from high school, not coming here or anything, but I was having to look up because I don't pay attention to the MLB draft that much. I don't watch it like I do the NBA and NFL draft. But so of course I'm curious, and so I start looking up high schoolers pick first overall, and you had A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, you had Bryce Harper, you had Ken Griffey Jr., Joe Mauer. So it's like some of these guys came straight out of high school to the MLB. Some big names to live up to.
Transplant Tech said I had to zoom in on the bat engraver. Yeah. It's just not that exciting to watch. The commentary is even kind of lame to me. Arkansas baseball X account is called Route to Dodgers as round one, 40th pick. Thought it was the second. So that's 3. Is that 3 in the first round?
Well, I mean, so it's weird because they have these CB-A. I've still seen some call it round 1. Like, I don't know, because they're saying that Davalon, they're saying was round 1, pick 41. So that would be 4 if that's the case. But then on other graphics, it's saying CBA. I don't know. It's one of those that who knows? He was picked 41st over 40th and 41st. So
that's another hiccup that the league needs to fix, just like we talked about basketball draft and when it comes to the trades. Same thing. It's so difficult to understand who got traded, even though you got picked by a team. You have to wear the hat, but they say on air that they get traded. I'm like, just make it make sense. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm going to get this comment. David Pearson, Tennessee had 3 or 4 commitments. Get scooped up in the first round.
Speaking of Tennessee, didn't want to see Liam Doyle, but he went to the Cardinals, and I'm really not a fan of that Tennessee pitcher.
Gotcha. David with the comment, top 43 were considered first round. Okay.
There we go.
I agree with DP. The draft is underwhelming. Absolutely.
I
Thank you
mean,
for watching.
they needed to put that much effort into like the Golden Spikes Award instead of it just being, what it was. All of it needs to be overhauled, which they only do the first round on ESPN, and rounds 2 and 3 would be on MLB Network, and then 4 through 20 are just wherever tomorrow. But I think when you have 20 rounds, it's kind of like, yeah.
And I mean, the first one's 1.5.
Yeah,
right.
It started at 5 o'clock, and we're at 8:30, and they're just now technically through the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in the sauce. The draft at this point is all about developmental players, farm league situations, guys who have to make a decision.
Shout out to was it the Phillies Farm League for Gage Wood down they're the Iron Pigs, one of their minor league teams.
So,
more you know.
Let me get your comments real quick. Looking at the guys who got selected to the prospective teams, any thoughts on who you look to maybe show themselves early, or who we can look at long term as somebody who can really make a name for themselves from the Arkansas Razorbacks?
I feel like it's hard to tell these days, like, because these guys, some of them, in a year or two, like we're seeing with Heston Kjerstad, they're finally kind of starting to break through.
Right.
But then there's other guys that you see that, it takes 8, 9, 10 years if they're ever going to crack through minor leagues. It's really a crapshoot to me anymore, if they're going to break through or not. And a lot of it's what teams they go to, situations they get put in. I think if they go to a team that doesn't have that good of a farm league, then they just need to hope to be traded.
Yep.
I honestly thought this far in we would have seen more of Isaiah Campbell. And of course we have, seen quite a bit of Andrew Benintendi. And we saw a lot of Dallas Keuchel and some of the others, but I feel like it's a toss-up anymore.
Gotcha. Hart, your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, about Kevin Kopps was coming in my first thought, and I was like, man, you wish you'd seen him make it to the pros. You would have thought the way he was pitching in college and everything. But I mean, it's tough. It's really tough how to get there, like Adam said. And you have people. Caden Wallace has been doing pretty well, but he hasn't, gotten a crack up there. So it is tough. But you just hope that the higher they're drafted, the better chance they have. Gage Wood, I would say, I would pick as the best option right now. Obviously, it's, his first pick out of the group, but I think he has the best opportunity.
Yeah, I also look at a situation where these guys. Arkansas has a chance. Dave Van Horn has a chance to add this to his resume of players that's been drafted in the first round. I remember a comment somebody said earlier during, not in today's show, but watching the College World Series. It said, how is it Dave Van Horn has a top 2-3 class, but never has the number 1 pick?
What?
How does
Kjerstad was number 2, so I mean that's close.
Yeah. Saying that Dave Van Horn always has a top recruiting class, but never has the number 1 pick.
I think it's one of those you develop. It's hard to say you develop a team more than individual players, but like we talked about before, maybe on the last show, even like with the LSU, Paul Skeens, having a guy like that, and then it looked like up until today, there was a lot of talk that what was his name, Cade Anderson, the other pitcher from LSU. I think he ended up going like 3rd or something like that, but he could have been a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we get we never, I'm going to say, luck into a guy or a pitcher like those.
Gotcha.
We have great pitchers, but just not to that extent. I guess we would say Hagen Smith. What did he go last year? Wasn't he around 5th?
7th? I think 7th,
top 10
to White Sox.
Yeah. So it's just one of those. I don't really think in baseball, compared to other sports, I don't think the number 1 pick matters as much. Yes, it's a big deal, but how long is it going to be till we see this high school kid that got drafted number 1? Granted, he's a former MLB player's son, just like several others, but at the same time, I don't know. I just don't see a 17-year-old doing much in the MLB for quite a while.
Years. Yeah. I think the other side of it is, if we honestly look at it and look at basketball as well, The objective is to get the youngest prospect with the most upside, so you have time to develop them with the squad that you currently have. So in basketball, at one point in time, they would draft the guys straight out of high school. So it's the same kind of concept. Like I said, it doesn't really pay for a guy to be a senior this time. In this era of sports, you have to leave when your name is hot. Like I said, if you're hot at the high school level and they recognize that you have a particular type of generational talent, then hey, you take your talents to the MLB and go ahead and get that money. Get that money. Any type of more comments you want to add in regards to Dave Van Horn, the Razorbacks MLB draft?
Nah, I mean, it's one of those that we'll always be talking about it while Dave Van Horn's here.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that while he's here is because we don't know what's going to happen afterwards.
All right. Let some fans tell that he should have been fired mid-season. But I digress. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and keep moving on to the show. Before we get to our next topic, we got to pay some bills. So just stay locked in.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick.
That's the old one. So let's go to this.
Let's step out of the batter's box for a second and talk about something just as important as Arkansas baseball. Your home. Our teammates over at Premium Supply are the heavy hitters of home improvement. They've got all the tools you need to knock your next project out of the park. Siding, soffit, columns, windows, doors, vents, decking, the whole lineup. Whether you're building from the ground up or just doing some infield maintenance, Premium Supply is your go-to utility player. With locations in Conway, North Little Rock, Russellville, and Jonesboro, there's always a Premium Supply nearby ready to step up to the plate. So if you're looking for big league products with all-star customer service, take a swing at www.premiumsupplyllc.com. Use promo code HOGHQ for a 5% discount on your next purchase. Premium Supply, where we treat each of our customers like one of the family.
Shout out to Premium Supply for being the number one sponsor of this program. If you have any needs, please should reach out to Premium for any type of home improvement needs. Mention Hog HQ at your purchase and make sure to get your discount. Once again, thank you to Premium Supply for being a sponsor on this program. I do want to ask you this real quick. We didn't do a show last week because it's the 4th of July. I never asked you guys. I know we did in the group text, but you guys did enjoy your 4th of July.
I enjoyed mine.
Didn't do anything.
Adam, I know that you got that same look.
I was, I'm cool with people. Like I live in the city limits. I'm fine with on the 4th of July, people are going to shoot them off. I get it. It's illegal in the city limits in Fort Smith, but they don't enforce it. Yeah. So I'm cool with it. I expect it. But when you start going until like 1 to 2 a.m., it's where I kind of get irritated. And then when you do it for like days before and days after, it kind of gets old. But it's one of those, like, you expect it this time of year. It's one of the, if you have pets, you know how it is. I mean, the dogs get uptight. Like our neighbors were gone. And you could hear their dogs just going wild inside. People down the road going to the elementary school across the street shooting off fireworks in their parking lot. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I know that there's cops like around here somewhere. Like, come get them.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. I enjoy fireworks just like the next person. The thing about it is, when you decide to shoot them on the street in which I live, see, they go in the air and they look nice when they explode, but they got to come back down. And for it to end up on the roof of my truck or if my driveway and I got to clean it up and I just shoot the fireworks, that's the only issue I have. But Adam, you do sound like an old man that says, stay off my lawn. That's what you sound like.
I thought about that when I was getting irritated and I was going to text and I was just like, that's going to be the first thing out of your mouth is something about me people getting off the lawn. I expect it, but at the same time, I'm like, you have all year to figure out where you can shoot off fireworks. We're surrounded by the country. Go outside of the city limits. Do it all you want. Yep.
How about you? How did you enjoy it?
I just went out to the water and saw some fireworks and everything go off. It was nice. I heard some fireworks, a lot more gunshots than fireworks, though.
Yeah. If you live in a more rural area, then you'll definitely hear gunshots. Here's the other thing I thought about. I know you guys seen your. Did you see your hero on the show on TV the other day? Joey Chestnut, the Glizzy Gobbler.
Never watched that in my life.
You never watched it?
I've seen highlights, but I've never like tuned into it.
Yeah, all I know is I put him on Prize Picks and he hit. So it worked out for me. Other than that, it was what it was on the 4th of July. Mr. Reese, how you doing, Mr. Reese? Glad to see you on the show. None of our guys went to crappy teams. Awesome. That means we can find some other teams to cheer for. Seems like most Arkansas people are St. Louis Cardinals fans. Is that pretty? Because the farm league team? Yeah.
Yeah. When it used to be, now it's changed to I don't even know who they are. Angels?
Who?
Mariners, right?
Who?
Or Little Rock. Sorry, I'm thinking of Travelers. Sorry.
The Nationals are Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
Which that's one of those I get into that, that conversation with folks because I'm not a Royals fan. I'm a Cardinals fan. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to wear a Naturals hat. Like, I get it. They're in Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas Naturals, but they're a Kansas City team. I don't like the Royals. I mean, some people are like, no, it's fine. It's, it's Arkansas. It's this, it's that. But I'm like, But at the same time, I mean, hell, I bought a shirt the other day that was, and I've got two now. And I think the minor league baseball teams have some of the coolest, like, logos, nicknames. And, like, the Nashville Sound, I think, is where they're out of. They came out with a shirt, or, kind of like the Northwest Arkansas Naturals did the Growlin' Chickens for like a select few games, change their colors, new logo. And a lot of teams do that. So there's one out in Nashville and they're the Nashville Hot Chickens. So I got a shirt with that logo on it.
That's a clever name.
And there's another one I got too. And then there's a team I think they're down in Alabama, but they're the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And it's a raccoon with like a rocket, I think it's pretty cool.
Gotcha. Of course you do. That shirt that you created, was that Mediocrity?
Yeah, I got it one. And yeah, Mediocrity. Live it, love it, deal with it.
Yeah, I like that. I got to get this comment real quick. So, we did the premium supply ad. Tucker said, didn't know premium supply could afford Chris Fowler for the voiceover. Hey, man.
Hey,
we know people that know people.
Could be T.I. next time for all we know.
You never know. You never know. Mr. Reese, you said you was on the river. Look, Mr. Reese, you are somewhat of a celebrity. Like I said, I like to give you your flowers. Every time I turn around, Mr. Reese is posting a picture. And Mr. Reese also happy belated anniversary. I think it was you and your husband's anniversary. So shout out to you. My main man, Ty. I'm here driving, but just listen. Hey, Ty, I appreciate you. We definitely appreciate you for tapping in. Even while you're on that road, you make sure you safe getting to your destination, sir. We definitely appreciate you for tapping in with us. Ty, don't forget, Ty. If you haven't forgot, we want to have you on at some point. We want to hear these hot takes, these things that you say, and you make these posts from time to time. Or I see you in the comments and when Buster makes something, and you always have something creative to say. So don't forget that we definitely want to have you on and kind of get your 2 cents about how you feel about certain things. Transplant Texas said the Travelers are Seattle Mariners AA farm team. We all mourn the loss of the Cardinals affiliation. Yeah, I get it. Moving on from baseball, gonna go straight into basketball. Let's get straight into basketball at this point. We know Coach Kyle had a presser for the guys during their summer practices. Had some great things to say. We will be watching some of the presser and a clip. Let's go ahead and dive straight into this so we can go ahead and get to that conversation, guys.
Every little thing that needs to be critiqued. Coach Kyle, he's doing
Jeez, I just want to
bad. Critiquing every little thing that needs to be critiqued.
Go harder. Go harder. You're not going at your own pace. Go by the guy and make a play.
I mean, that's just the guy he is. He wants to make sure everything's perfect, or he going to make sure he keep getting it through your head, make sure he making his message clear.
If I'm doing them a service, it's the habits that you leave here with are going to help you on and off the court, but they're going to help you when you're moving. You go to the next level, you're having those kind of habits. So these kids, you're seeing him get better. I just want them to understand you're improving. Now that should excite you, and that should give you more enthusiasm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, shout out to TB for cutting his hair. Yeah, I was waiting on this shit to happen.
Was it cut or was he just cornrowed back?
No. I think that was Pringle, on the Florida State kid. The Florida State kid with the locks. I think he was 12.
I just hope that we get a full season of Trevor Brazile that we've been waiting on. Now that we have true bigs that are going to be expected to play the 5, he can truly just worry about being a stretch 4. This right here is the latest one from Brandon Baker's roster tracker. So I'll just touch on this right quick because it has came up a few times. So right here, 15 players total. That counts walk-ons, everything. I think we're kind of past the practice players. Just call them walk-ons. Aiden Kelly was the latest one to stick with the team. It was just more late announcement, even though he's been here the whole time. So we got to wondering because Coach Cal, in which I have another clip, and that's the longer one from the presser. I played the other one first, but so everybody's wondering because he talks about adding another player, and everybody's wondering who he can add because we've got 15. And I didn't find this out till I watched over on Hogville, Kevin McPherson talk about it. So with the new rules, with the house settlement, revenue sharing, all that, the roster limits are set, but Arkansas and whoever else has walk-on players still there from the season before, they are grandfathered in, essentially. So yes, we have 15 on the roster, but we'll be allowed to have 16 players because Aiden Kelly is grandfathered in from last season. So however that works out, I was listening to McPherson's talking for about, I think, the first 10-ish minutes of his episode last night, and he was talking that there could be a player out of the Pittsburgh area, which, that's where Cal is, from that area. Malik Thomas, I can't think of the kid's name. I can't see this on screen. Yeah, one of the other kids that came along with Malik Thomas, I think it's Brown, the guard, 5'10" guard. But there's a player that they may have reclassify if they can get them to or get it done, that they're looking at. And that's more of if they did that, reclassify this late from 26 to 25, that would be more of a long-term player. So it's not somebody that's going to come in and expect to immediately have ample playing time trying to go to the NBA draft next season or whatever. It's somebody that you plan on being here for 2 to 3 seasons.
Gotcha.
So if it happens, it happens. I don't expect anybody and they also talk possibility of international. I don't expect anybody that comes in this late, unless they were international, to make an impact on playing time on the court.
Right.
Practice next season possibly, but I don't see a game changer coming in this late because there's not a whole lot of people that are, left unsigned or eligible or whatever.
Yeah. Hart, I checked out the clip, and looking at the clip, I got a chance to see, like I said, TB look real bouncy. Got a chance to see A-Cuff do the reverse layup. He already a grown man physically with his stature. So what are you looking forward to in this roster in regards to rotation, beginning of the season guys who can maybe make an impact going on towards the season, towards the middle of the season?
I would say A-Cuff is the first person that jumps out to me. I think he's going to be an upgrade from Boogie. I know Boogie was hindered with his wrist and everything and his thumb, but A-Cuff jumps out. I think he's a better finisher. Might not be as good of a shooter, but I think that can be developed. You got DJ. I think he's improving. Of course, you got Carter Knox, you got TB, and then you got Malik Ewan probably as a big, if not him. Then you got Nick Pringle. So there's 6 guys right there. We hadn't talked about Billy Richmond or Malik Thomas. So there's 7 right there, and I'm forgetting one other person right now. But I think we're gonna have probably 8 or 9 man rotation for the most part. Now some of the foreign players are going to have probably work their way in. I think Kareem Rattel isn't going to be here until September, if I recall. And that'll be basically our next look with the team publicly will be around September, from what Cal said. But as far as the team, I think we're going to be a lot better. We're taller. I think the only issue really is shooting, and I still think we're going to be improved shooting wise from where we were last year.
Yeah, I seen in the presser he talked about Wagner really working on his shot. Hopefully TB, as we talked about, seems a clip where he had a little mid-range jumper. Would love to see him develop his game where he can create his own shot, get the dribble, and create his own shot. That would be definitely kudos to him going towards looking as a prospect for the NBA. I do like I hope we get a chance to see Isaiah Sealy, the hometown kid. Like I said, 6'7" forward. So maybe somebody who can relieve Billy Richmond, or like I said, depending on they do the lineups, I would love to see if Kyle is ever in a situation, maybe he's building towards that, to where he can start that platoon thing again, like he had at Kentucky. We had like a whole squad of guys, 5 just come in and replace the other set of guys. He had that much talent on one team, so it'd be interesting to see if he's trying to develop that. We know some guys are going to be one and done. We know some guys on the back end of their career. So it'd be interesting to see how he develops this team, who we're going to see early. Maybe the guys that we see early won't be the guys we see during the season and the crunch time. So it'd be definitely be interesting to see how he puts it together. I do want to get this comment real quick. Bobby Andrews, thank you for tapping in. When did y'all say Paulo will be here?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
He's been in Orlando and he's been on the different circuits, so I don't see why he would be one that would be later this fall that he would be here.
Gotcha. And the guy you were talking about, Pittsburgh guy, I'm assuming, Amir Brown.
Yeah.
Sweet man.
I'll go ahead and play the clip from Cal's presser.
Do it.
Again, like I don't have, this system where you plug guys in. And the reason I don't is because if I'm really about the kids, then I can't tell you exactly how we're going to play. But it's real, what we do, and it's undeniable what it does, and we're just getting started here, but it'll grow. And it's how are we playing? First one was I want to get them in better shape this year. And so we've done some of my old school conditioning. And it was funny, DJ said to his dad, Coach said he's doing old school. What would that mean, Dad? And Wani said, you better hope he's not doing 2020s. I hate it when we're doing 2020s. And so the conditioning was more mental. To get through the conditioning, you can do it, but it mentally breaks you down. And then the second thing I wanted to do is we got to bring this group together. Last year, we were always together, but as the injuries started peeling off guys and we only had 5, they understood how much they needed each other. We're still not there. There are times guys over dribble or pass up an open man and try to shoot it themselves. That's fine. But the way this is, you probably need to play more people. You got to be in the greatest shape. If I'm doing them a service, it's the habits that you leave here with are going to help you on and off the court, but they're going to help you when you're moving. You go to the next level, you're having those kind of habits. So, but it's real. Like, some of it we're going to do. It's. You can argue the point, but the reality of it is these kids, you're seeing them get better. I just want them to understand you're improving.
And to Cal's point, having some guys that came back from the previous roster who understood what it was like to have injuries before the season started and only played with 4. So
he's doing a great job
at different appreciation for this particular year, having new guys in being able to be an elder statesman, being able to teach these guys skills that the coaches want them to have. So that's definitely going to be an upgrade in regards to building chemistry going forward early in the season before we end up getting to this nice little schedule that we got going on. I do want to get this comment real quick. The practice provided so much to watch, and Carter Knox did not get the most shine. TB Pringle and Sealy were very impressive. I see those great things to happen at this particular point. Like I said, we want TB to be the guy that we seen with tomahawk dunks and the windmills and all that good stuff. Like I said, about high fly type of guy. Coach Cal also said this press. He said, TB smiling. He's smiling. And you got to think about it. Most times you see him, he's very stoic. He has an Adam type face where he just looks the same all the time. So either way it go, and he doesn't smile. So, Adam doesn't smile. That's his thing. But
it's awkward.
Do y'all know Adam don't smile in pictures? Detail?
No, I don't just tell everybody. I think it's just obvious.
All right, I think we talked about that. How
We have.
It's awkward.
He said it's awkward to smile in pictures.
It's awkward.
I swear, at some point we need to get your people on, your parents, and be like, can y'all pull some pictures of Adam from prom?
I didn't smile in my prom pictures either because the girl I went with, her dad even said, "Are you going to smile at these pictures?" And it was like, no, probably not.
It is what it is, man. You authentically being yourself the whole time. Cal wants the guys to get in shape. 40 minutes of hell 2.0, possibly.
I mean, as much as we want that, I feel like we, as fans, we talk about that a lot. The pressing. I mean, we've talked about it with Musselman a little bit.
Uh-huh.
We thought we were going to possibly get it with Mike Anderson.
Yep.
And I get that Coach Richardson is around a lot more now than he was under the previous regime.
Uh-huh.
Is what it is. But at the same time, it's like, I want Cal to go back to that defense first mentality that he had, like at Memphis when he first got into Kentucky, that he had at UMass.
Uh-huh.
Because, I mean, being able to, create offense with your defense, I think that's something that we don't see as much anymore, just the changing of the game. I mean, we definitely don't see it in the NBA.
Right.
There's no point for the NBA to give out or have an all defensive team. There's no reason whatsoever for it.
And I was going to bring up that point when you stated that. I don't even know if that translates to being a lottery pick because of your defense. It seems like right now it's all about scoring points. So I definitely understand.
Y'all notice I skipped over the 40 minutes of Pell.
Yeah. Hart, you about to say something?
Yeah, I was just, Cal said it in his presser that, last year this time we didn't have but a couple of guys on campus. Yep. And now we got the full squad for the most part.
Shout out to Lawson Blake.
Yep. And so now we can actually run some practices and have something and build a team now. So that's going to be beneficial come, March, you would think, with all these extra practices with the guys.
Yep. Paulo and Avira need to get here ASAP. Paulo needs to get off his circuit and join the college team.
Some of these guys, I mean, I'm there with them because you've already had the majority of the basketball team there running for a couple of weeks now.
Yep.
So get into the year, and I know that they'll have their dead period coming up before school starts and all that, but it's what they're here to do. And you're going to gain more, coming to Fayetteville and playing with your team and learning from your now coach. Get off the circuit ball that's 4 or 5 games a weekend and, get up there and play with the guys that you're going to be playing with, guys that are just as good, if not better, than what you're playing against in these circuit leagues. And at the same time, too, going, somebody like Paulo and hell, even Elmer, these guys are going to be going against, a Nick Pringle, Ewan, like true bigs that are seasoned. They're not freshmen. They're not new. They're grown men. So have at it.
Gotcha.
I was going to say something, but I was going to have to get myself. So apologize.
Gotcha. Far superior roster from a skill standpoint as opposed to last year. Hopefully it all comes together. Absolutely. And I want to see it early and often, to be honest with you. And I would like to see a plethora of guys at the end of the day who can make an impact. Hart, you missed it. He trying to get me. But I would like to see a lot of guys who can come together, make a name for themselves. Whether it was some guys who weren't on the roster last year, I feel like we know what the guys from last year can do. We know what they could possibly look like as an upgrade with the new additions to the team. So I want to see some of these lesser known guys that we hear about but haven't seen in the Razorback uniform under Coach Kyle's tutelage and see what they can do early and often. Tom, we get your comment, and we're going to swing to football. Ty. Jay Will would have gotten a bigger contract had defense counted, no doubt about it.
Jay Will would have got a bigger contract if they didn't spend $880 million on 3 players, one of which, the first major injury that he gets, he's done.
Thanks.
So out of those 3, Chet Holmgren, he is not worth $50 million a year.
Nope.
We knew that SGA was going to get his. At the same time, $880-something million between 3 players.
Crazy work. Crazy work.
So, but before we do move on to football, just throw this up right quick. Jordan Walsh, let's see, today had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal in 25 minutes for the Celtics over the Knicks in the Summer League. So far, he's averaging 15 points, 3.5 boards, 2 assists. And then I think Mason Jones, he's averaging 11 points, 40% from 3, 5.5 assists. Honestly, both of them I see having I'm not going to say a hard time. I don't feel like they're ever going to be able to break through to be
a constant player,
rotational players on a team.
No.
And I hate that for them.
Yeah.
But, you're already seeing, Isaiah and Jay Will have their spots. Moses has his spot. Nick Smith has gotten his in a terrible franchise.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're seeing guys like Amude, you're seeing Jordan Walsh, Mason Jones, Ricky Council, these guys that are struggling to find teams, find situations to where they can break a rotation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things that's why I hope the best for Thero. But going at 36th, I feel like he's going to fall into that same boat. Now, it doesn't always work out that way. A lot of it's players. I mean, Patrick Beverly was drafted, I think he was 55th.
But do you know why he was able to break rotation and keep getting picked up by team?
But his defense.
His defense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. His defense. He was that guy that all of his teammates talked about. When you came into practice, he was going to bust your ass.
Yep.
He took it upon himself to make sure that that practice was your worst day going up against him.
Yep.
And it didn't matter what team he went to, he brought the same thing day in and day out. Bobby Portis, we posted it on Hog Talk, but it was an interview that Manny Watkins had put up because they were roommates when they were here at Arkansas. And, he was talking about that, Portis showed him how a professional should work because Portis was, even at college, was already portraying himself and practicing like he was professional.
Yep.
Because he was doing that for where he wanted to be, where he wanted to go. And, that's why Bobby's doing what he's doing with Milwaukee.
Right.
He bounced around a little bit. At the same time, he's found his home. There's been, talk they're going to move off of him. They're not going to. It doesn't look like. So it's tough for some of these guys to break the rotation. I think if Thero was to get in that rotation with the Lakers, I think it's going to be after LeBron James leaves.
Yeah.
He just opted into the $52.4 million contract. There's already talks that he's been practicing in Cleveland. So here we go again and working out. They brought in Luka to build around him for the future.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. You just hope that Thero can break through. Maybe him and Bronny James can throw some alley-oops to each other in this.
And I was going to say, if he would have been healthy and been playing in Summer League, he probably could have dunked on Cooper Flag or something. Ain't no telling. But a shout out to Bronny James for locking them up. He locked up Cooper Flag, though. So,
they've already pulled Cooper Flag and said he wasn't going to play anymore in the Summer League.
Interesting.
Because I mean, his second game, I mean, he dropped. I think it was like 30, something like that.
Anthony Black is not playing in summer league at all.
I think he's far enough along in Orlando's rotation. I don't think you'll see him.
Yeah, I've seen him.
It's kind of the same. Like, I'll be shocked. I've looked for Nick Smith Jr. and hadn't seen his name come up. Some of these guys, I think, was it last year we still saw them a little bit in this, or I think we saw Nick Smith Jr. I don't remember if we saw Anthony Black.
It's their third year now, ain't that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
But, and speaking of Anthony Black, his brother Beckham is tearing it up. I hope Cal's looking his way. So it would be nice to see. JJ Andrews has been tearing it up. He just had
a fifth star, right?
Yeah, he got his 5th star, the Coach Cal effect, like we've talked about. Let me see. JJ Andrews and the Nike EYBL. Let's see. He had team high 20 points, 9 for 13, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals.
Gotcha.
And so I'm ready for him to get here. But that's that.
That's that. And with that being said, we're going to transition straight into 48 days until Razorback football kicks off. It's about that time. It's about
for 135 and a touchdown through the first quarter for Arkansas. A.J. Jefferson fires out of the backfield on the run. A.J. Green inside the 30, bounces off. Goodbye. A.J. Green, touchdown, Arkansas.
He had his back to the outside to declare man-to-man coverage. Then he runs the wheel route. He knows he's got a linebacker matched on him. They pick just a little bit out of phase. One missed tackle, and the speedster goes.
And, I was debating on or when I was looking through clips, I was like, oh, I'm not going to. And then it clicked. I was like, wait, A.J. Green is back on the team.
He's back.
So I had forgotten about it. A lot of people had forgotten about it. He'll be wearing number 20 now. Because, obviously 0 is Braylon Russell. I think there was talk coming in if he's going to be a running back or defensive back.
Yeah.
But the other number 20 on the team is a linebacker. So that's what, and he's listed as a running back. So I figure that's where it's.
Yeah, he's going to be a running back.
Gotcha. Hart, I'm going to start with you real quick. 48 days. The countdown is on officially. Looking forward to the football season. As we go through the summer sessions, we will be breaking down groups defensively and offensively, just to break down what the personnel looks like, what the depth looks like, who can be an impact player. In regards to looking forward to football season, what are some of the things that you are more interested in seeing this year from Coach Pittman as well as certain players going into this next year?
I want to see better time management from Pittman. I want to see growth from Green. I want to see, not Taylor Green. I want to see his second year. I want to see him faster on his reads, not sitting back there, obviously thinking and processing. I want him to just be able to read the defense and go. Just, more maturation in the system. I want to see better blocking from the offensive line. I want to see some holes opened up, not Braylon creating his own holes with his, I'm not even going to finish that sentence. I know Adam's going to get ready. But besides that, defense, I want to see what the secondary does this year. Because we got torched a little bit last year, especially against Ole Miss. I want to see what the secondary is going to do this year.
Yeah, just to piggyback on what you said, you talk about the secondary. I feel like the secondary is the most skilled area on defense. But the problem is that the front seven doesn't have enough depth on the defensive line, and we don't have enough pass rush. That's where your secondary gets exposed. So I'm really looking forward to see who they can develop on the defensive line. I know they don't have a lot of guys when we get down to second and third string. I want to see if Charlie Collins is really who they say he is. I want to see what T. Will looks like and what type of scheme he draws up. Now, you guys remember a time where, what's my guy name? That's UNLV, went to Purdue.
Barry Odom.
Yeah, and he ran a 3-man front and everybody was pissed about it. Well, you honestly had to look at that and look at the personnel that you actually had in your roster. You had to use that. It'd be interesting to see if we see that again. If we see it in a look where it's a 3-man front, but we have more guys that are blitzing off the edge, Maybe they can give us a different look. I know T. Will likes to mix up his defenses and give different looks week to week. So that'll be interesting to see what that looks like. Taylor Green in year 2 of Bob Petrino's offense. I just want Bob Petrino to turn to old Bob Petrino. I want to cuss people out on a regular basis, put people on the bench, all that good stuff. I want to see that. I'm interested to see what this short receiving crew looks like. I heard they weren't great. I'm just being honest. I heard we finally got great route runners this year. I like Tesla last year, but he couldn't get separation. He didn't have the speed to break in his route running. So these guys apparently are real shifty, can get open, can run proper routes. So that'd be interesting to see what it looks like. With that being said, I would hope that there's a thought process that Taylor Green gets the ball out of his hand faster. He can't hold it and run for his life, like Jordan Anthony did in his track meet. So I want to see what that looks like this particular year. I like the linebacking crew, young guys, diverse group of guys, and they have a lot of skill. First string, second, and third. So I'm interested to see what that looks like as well. So I want to see what we can do. Can we break it? Because, Adam already said we're going to win 3 games. I don't know if that was a prediction this year again, but at this point, it feels like you can only win 3 games, and we'll probably win 5. So we'll just need to see what it looks like. I need to see better ball security. Yeah, hell yeah. And that means not holding the ball like a loaf of bread, like my coach used to tell me.
We led the nation in fumbles last season.
Yeah. And give it away. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like going into the year. I would like to see us, if it's not as exciting and we can really run the ball with the offensive line, I would like to see that and do a lot of play action. Let Taylor Green boot on the edge, let him make plays with his legs if need be. I would like to see those type of things utilized. So it's a lot of things that we can work on, of course. The schedule is always daunting. And with all that being said, Adam, we got SEC Media Day coming up this particular week. I think it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And, of course, Arkansas has drawn the last day per usual. The first day is usually the big – second day is usually where the heavy hitters come at, and then the consolation prize is day 3. And that's when Arkansas will show up. Sam Pittman has elected to bring 3 seniors, Taylor Green, Cam Ball, who is from Atlanta, and Xavier Sori, Jr., the linebacker. So I think that's a great group of guys to bring. Sori, I remember some of his pressers and interviews last year. Very well spoken, has great knowledge of what T. Will is asking from on the defense. He can be a spokesman on defense. Cam Ball has a great personality. I mean, I think he did an NIL commercial. I forgot what the brand was. So I know he'll have some laughs at the podium. It'd be interesting to see what his status is as far as his injury. And I know he had elbow surgery last year over the summer. So it'd be interesting to see where he is in his progression to be healthy and how soon he looks to get in that rotation of starters. And, of course, Taylor Green is always going to say the right things. He's always going to be real vanilla. It's like a spring game. His speech is like a spring game. It's real vanilla. It's a lot of coach speak. But, hey, sometimes that's what that takes. And I think because, I was on him last year. I don't trust dudes who don't have facial hair. I think he's trying to get a mustache and goatee this year. So he might be earning my respect. And I'm going to try my best to go to SEC Media Day on Thursday because it is here in Atlanta. That's my second time going if I go. But I definitely want to get some content for the group for next week. So I'm going to definitely try my hardest to go. With that being said, guys, go ahead and tap in. What do you have, Adam, in regards to what this thing's going to look like SEC Media Day and what you're looking forward to in regards to the season?
I used to enjoy it, I guess, but I think as we've done this, as it's progressed, talking about Arkansas week in and week out, I'm not saying that I've become cynical because I don't feel like that's the right word. I'm not pessimist. I've become more real about where all this stands. I look at media days now as just I would rather hear from the players than the coaches, even though coaches are always going to get us, some good quotes, some good clips, some good one-liners, whatever. But the coaches are, they're going to come in and you're going to get a lot of coach speak. And it's one of those that I'm over a lot of that. I would rather listen to the players and see what the players have to say. We know that Sam's going to come in and be lighthearted and answer be truthful or too honest or whatever the case may be. At the same time, is what it is. We're used to seeing it. We know that the media likes him. We know that the other coaches like him. We know that the other coaches don't look at him as a threat, even though Tennessee should. But at the same time, it's just I would rather hear from Talon and Cam and Sorry. I would rather see some of the other players get to go. I mean, give me 3 days of nothing but just player interviews.
Yeah.
But whatever. I think that more comes from them not being at the podium when they're doing their kind of one-on-one interviews, whether it's with Paul Feinbaum, whether it's with the other personalities that are there.
Yeah.
I think better clips and better quotes come from those sessions than them at the podium. I like, because I think they do it every year. Like they'll go up and talk, and then they'll come on and whether it's on SEC Network or wherever, they'll be, at the booth or at the table with the other analysts, getting asked questions and talking for a little bit. Everybody starts drinking the Kool-Aid around this time, and
it's hype season.
Yeah, and it's one of those. Even the media does it. I mean,
absolutely.
They start buying into. Well, they said they're going to do this. They said they're going to change this. They said look out for this. And I'm like, do you expect them to come in and just say like, oh no, we're going to shit the bed?
Right.
Like, no, they're not going to do that. So, you can take it or leave it. You've got coaches that have personality. I mean, it's the same way in the basketball one. Obviously, Coach Calipari is going to be one that everybody listens to on this one. Everybody's going to want to hear what Lane Kiffin has to say. Everybody's going to want to hear what Kirby Smart has to say. You still have a lot of newer coaches, a lot of newer faces that don't have much personality. So, unfortunately, Eli Drinkwitz is probably going to say something stupid.
Yep.
Is what it is.
Eli Drinkwater. Hart, before we get ready to get up out of here, who are you looking forward to hearing in regards to coach?
As far as the coaches,
yeah, and I don't think we have any new coaches this year, right? Nobody's
not
new.
that I can think of. Actually, I want to hear Vandy's coach after beating Bama last year. Yeah, I kind of want to hear what he has to say. I mean, you're going to get stuff from Lane and all them, but I think him after last year, see what he can do this year. I think that's an interesting one. Maybe Beamer at South Carolina, Uscombe Jr. Because they've been building something. But those are the two that stick out to me off the top.
Yeah, now think about it. South Carolina got the best quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm. I think he's number one.
Yeah, he fine. So did Rocket Sanders ever get drafted? He got a free agent deal.
I think free agent deal.
Mm-hmm. Should have stayed your ass at Arkansas. But anyhow,
they got further than Arkansas did.
Well,
I think he may have gotten drafted.
Anyhow, I know you looked it up.
Yep, I am.
But I will say this before we get ready to get out of here. In regards to the coaches, I want to know if they're gonna ask what's your guy name in Tennessee?
Heupel.
Oh, yeah, Heupel.
Bobby Hill Sr.
Asking him about Nico. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear is he gonna talk about Nico? Is that gonna be discussed in a roundabout way? I would definitely want to hear what that looks like.
Let's ask that, the council that Arkansas got. Like, hey, have y'all gotten your money back from Madden?
Yeah.
Because y'all got gypped too.
Definitely got gypped. I want to see how they talk to him, what they talk about Nico. I also want to hear what the conversation looks like with revenue sharing from other coaches.
What do you think about the revenue sharing?
Until Arkansas can pay for some 5-star players, it don't really mean shit to me, to be honest with you. I mean, at this point, we always talked about, man, we keep getting beat by Alabama. They're cheating. They're paying players. Now we can. So how are we not competitive yet? So I just want to see what it looks like in real time in regards to getting 5-star players. I mean, players who already had a 5-star, 5th-star, not the ones that when they get on the roster or commit, then they drop a star. No, not them. I want to see the 5-star guys. I want to make Buster be like, yeah, finally, we got a 5-star.
I'm glad you brought that up. Before we go, this will be the last little bit that I have. Gotcha. So bringing up players, 4-star, 3-star, 5-star, 1-star, whatever. So there's several people that are taking to heart say how 24/7 grades, and there's people that say no, they just have one formula. It's across the board to be as even as possible. Blah blah blah. So they don't believe that a 3-star in Texas is better than a 3-star in Arkansas.
That's you don't know football. Go ahead.
And so that's what I was wanting your take on it, because there was some heated argument on one of Buster's posts, and that's what it had to do with was, you know, 3-star this, 3-star that. But then I know, like us, the week before bringing up Pinto's tweet,
right?
You know, he said, hey, if we're not getting this 3-star here or this 4-star here, I would rather get one from Georgia, from Texas, from Louisiana. And even when Bobby Petrino first got here, one of the first things he got was a 3-star quarterback out of South Carolina. And everybody was like, oh, there goes Kane Archer, or what about Kane Archer, and this, that, and the other. But a lot of us were like, you know, a 3-star in South Carolina is on a 3-star in Arkansas. But now all of a sudden it's like our fans, and maybe this is directed to Buster, maybe it's not, because he's kind of been on both sides of the whole 3-star argument. As fans, are we, not us, but we as a whole, trying to make ourselves feel better about only being able to get 3 stars? So now we're saying that it's evened out, when before it wasn't even out.
At the end of the day, we would all love to have 4 and 5 stars and be able to compete in the rankings, no matter what the platform is in regards to recruiting. We've seen what it looks like on the field. We've seen what it looks like when it comes to maturation of talent, make it to the next level, NFL, etc. If you can't get the best in your state for whatever reason, and then like I said, whatever glory days you a person that's watching or the ones on the screen that you remember, these kids right now have no idea what the hell we're talking about. You got to think about it. The last thing I can remember, Ryan Mallett, Aaron McFadden, Matt Jones, these kids were like 5 and 6, if that. So they don't remember that. Like, it's no need to really latch on to something that's not great where you are, especially when you're getting wooed and loved on in other cities, other states. You just want to go to the best program and give yourself an opportunity to win. And as of right now, Arkansas has not had back-to-back winning seasons since what, 2011? Yeah, Bobby Petrino. So they don't even know what it looks like to what we know it is. And we can live in the past as long as we want to, but present day 2025, we are a doormat of the SEC. It is what it is. We can love the Hogs through and through, but facts are facts. You are still not getting 5-star recruits. You are still not competing for the best head coaches for your football program. You are also not competing for championships in the conference in which you lie. So until those things change, things will continue to stay the same. Mediocrity is the shirt that you made. Yeah, it seems very relevant at this point. And I feel like once we get to a point to where this revenue sharing makes sense, and maybe the GM now has a different take on it, they can help with that. Maybe we can figure out and get these better players. But as of right now, depending on what the year looks like with Sam Pittman with this schedule, if it goes left, he could be gone mid-season. Because at this point, we talked about it the other week, you don't have time to wait and then vet people and interview people. You got to hire somebody before the end of the damn season. While people are still in the playoffs, you got to already have your coach in place, because signing day is fastly approaching. Now you have to maintain the guys who have already committed. Then look at the guys wherever your previous institute was, and you had players on that roster if you want to bring them over here to join you. So all those things play a part. At this point, it's all business. We understand that whether we like it or not, and we just need to get with the times and make the best effort and swing for the fences in regards to being the best program suitable. Stop settling. Did Hunter Yurchek can't read the room tweet about the Hog settlement attorney fees temporarily take some of the heat away from Sam and light it hotter under his own seat?
So he posted like a tweet with comment on basically it was about the house settlement and the attorney fees. I think the attorneys that dealt with it are getting somewhere around $750 million. And kind of was talking about, oh, these lawyers that said that they were doing this for the players and for the this and for the that. I think it's trying to make him maybe not look like an asshole. Even though I think in the flip side is it made him look even more like one, because you can't read the room when it comes to your fans that you're supposedly here for. That you have, you have it in fans' best interest, you have it in players and coaches' best interest, and we all know that's bullshit. All you're worried about is making sure that the Arkansas athletic department is in the black year in and year out to make yourself look better. And that I could be completely off base with that, but everything that has been done over the last several years is all about that bottom line, is all about making money for whether it's the foundation or the athletic department as a whole. I mean, you're looking at your renovations from the scope of how many more corporate people can we get in here, not the average fan.
Right.
And it's just one of those that he's deaf, dumb, and blind when it comes to the fan base.
Gotcha. All right, you got anything before we get up out of here, sir?
No.
All right, so guys, as we get ready to get out of here, we thank you for supporting us and watching us this evening. I do want to say next week we will be start talking about position groups on the team, just to see what they look like. Yeah, thank you. Just to see what position groups look like, get you guys' opinion on said group, and see what we look like. And we'll finish out this summer session at some point. It's at 8/24, 25. That's going to be the prediction show.
That'll be the show before the first game.
Yeah. So we'll talk through the groups. That way you guys can get more refreshed with who's on the roster, who's been injured thus far, who's transferred.
Well, speaking of injuries, we had the wide receiver that went out, not the
wrist.
Ishmael Cisse? Or
Yeah.
Cece?
How you pronounce it. Not broken, but did require surgery. No timetable on his return. So we'll see what happens.
J.J. Hollingsworth hit the portal. Jay Johnson. Somebody tell Jay Johnson to tap in with me.
Did he really?
Hell yeah. We got to talk to Jay. We got to bring Jay on. I'm about to hit Jay and DM. We got to figure out if he really want to speak to it. Can he speak to it? You know what I'm saying?
Because obviously we won't say anything that
right.
We're going to respect the boundaries.
Absolutely. Respect. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? All that. But I definitely want to know what happened with that. If whatever he feel like comfortable to tell us, I would love to know that. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Jay Johnson's in the group. He's on the show a lot. And his son, J.J. Hollingsworth, was on the team and hit the portal. So it'd be interesting to figure out if we can talk to him and figure out what that information looks like and get some intel. Because, we got sources too. With that being said, we are out of here. We'll catch you guys next week. Y'all have a blessed week. Hold it down to the next one.